Yes, sirski.
Yeah, so we live, Cap.
Shrewd news and reviews back again. Let's not even waste any time, Bob. We gotta address. We gotta address Mr. Kyrie Irving. I wanna start off with respect and love. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He recently had an interview where he was getting pressed about supporting a book, and we'll give him the interview first, and then we'll kind of pick it apart as we get through it.
Right. So he referred a book. He thought the book was good. He was referring it to people, and
Well, Kyrie might argue that he never said the book was good. He wasn't really referring it to people. He just shared it. That's how he was talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know if that really works, Kyrie, but whatever, man. Let's go.
And it's a title given to Christ, Philippians 2:11. And my name trans and it's a title given to Christ, Philippians 2:11. And my name translates in the Hebrew language as Yahweh. So I went on the Amazon Prime. I was like, you know what? Let me see if there are any documentaries on Yahweh. Went in the search bar, typed in Yahweh. That came up. Went out and shared it on my platform. That was my night. In terms of the backlash or what people call it, we're in 2022. History is not supposed to be hidden from anybody. And I'm not a divisive person when it comes
he's
to
standing on that, man.
I embrace all walks of life. You see it on all my platforms. I talk to all races, all cultures, all religions. And my response would be, it's not about educating yourself on what Semitism is and what anti-Semitism is. It's really about learning the root words of where these come from and understanding that this is an African heritage that is also belonging to the people. Africa is in it, whether we want to dismiss it or not. So the claims of anti-Semitism and who are the original chosen people of God, and we go into these religious conversations and it's a big no-no. I don't live my way like that. I don't live my life that way. Excuse me.
So
I'm gonna stop him
yeah,
right there. Now it sounds nice what he's saying. He says that he's accepting of other races and
he's
he
basically saying
randomly
I'm not racist. I'm not against any other races. You know, that's
uh,
basically what he's saying.
all right. But the thing about the book is it contains a lot of anti-Semitic rhetoric. Like it talks about high-ranking Jews being in league with Satan, uh, blaming the Jews for effeminizing black men, and it even has a whole quote, a fake quote, you know, saying from a guy interview that's kind of pushing more anti-Semitism. So it's easy to say that out of one side of your mouth, but what's in that movie, what's in the book that the documentary is based on, is different. So that's why it's a problem with this. Do you have something else to say?
I mean,
I'm
he
not
said,
buying the whole thing about him just typing Yahweh in the search bar that coming up either. I'm not buying that story.
I mean, look at the position he's in, though. Okay, like this is what
Mhm.
I'm saying. This is what people got to do. You got to. I
Mhm.
ain't buying it too. I don't feel like
Mhm.
he just tight in the bar, but I feel like you have to talk and you got to speak around what's going on. You can't even be too truthful to these people because it could hurt your pockets. And when we have that happen, it's gonna be people that's gonna change things around. Oh no, I didn't really mean that. It's gonna be things that's gonna.
When has anybody got punished for saying something that's the truth? I'm sure it's happened, but
I
when
ain't
we're
saying what the
talking,
truth. I'm saying that.
you said people can't be too truthful. What do you mean by that?
Well, all right. I ain't gonna say be too truthful. I'm gonna say what they feel. Like he couldn't be on here and say really how he felt because it's parameters around that.
Yeah,
And
if you really feel racist in your heart, you can't just express that freely. If that's what you said, now if he
no, I'm
had,
saying he said he
yeah,
wasn't racist. He said that
I,
he wasn't racist, but
but
he
you
made
saying that ain't the truth though. You
what
say he can't say what he really want to say. Is that what you say? Because you say
I'm
he can't
saying.
be
He
too
probably
truthful.
can't. Yeah, I'm saying he probably can't express how he really say. So he have to be a publicist to what he's saying right now to make sure he covers all parameters and make sure everybody.
Oh yeah, he's definitely. I definitely peeped that. He's being careful with his words. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go on. Let's finish.
I grew up in a melting pot, and I say a melting pot of all races: white, black, red, yellow, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and you can see the way I live my life now. I'm not here to be divisive, so they could push their agenda. I don't want to say they, because I'm not identifying any one group or race of people, but I'm in
You
a
get
unique
what I'm
position
saying?
to have a
Niggas
level of
don't talk
influence
like
in my
this at the
community.
barbershop or when
And
you in the hood.
what I post does not mean that I support everything that's being said or everything that's being done, or I'm campaigning for anything. All I do is
Listen, when he said just because I'm sharing it doesn't mean that I stand with everything that's being said. Why don't you tell us the things that you don't stand for that's in there? You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is a cop out. Like
No,
if
but
you
Cap, no, he's a basketball player. Why would he have to be explained? If he listen, he's not a politician. He's not running for governor. He is a basketball player. So you saying he posted something and he got to explain to everybody, like you get what I'm saying? Like we're talking about a basketball player here.
Yeah, I think if Tom Brady shared a racist meme or something like that, I think he would get asked about it in a press conference, and I would want to know what the answer was.
Okay, I didn't know that it was racist. I didn't look at the book. I never seen the book. I look at a lot of people have been talking this stuff. We know they talk about this Hebrew to Negro. They talk about they was Hebrews and this. So
yeah,
we don't look at it as we don't see it as this is a racist thing to say.
I know. Look, I'm very sensitive to that line of thinking because I once subscribed to this kind of thinking. I would have read this book and I probably would have sounded like Kyrie. When you have, I used to say things like, you know, this sounds smart to dumb people, but I think it's a little bit more complex than that. I think these bad ideas make smart people say dumb things. And that's what's happening right now. Kyrie has been duped. He's been tricked. He thinks that this is the truth. I think his heart is in the right place. He wants to educate his people. He wants to share things that he think will help somebody. But the problem is he's wrong. He's been tricked into some pretty hateful beliefs, or he's been tricked into promoting some pretty hateful beliefs. But we'll continue. Oh. We should have continued out of just a moment.
So hold on. I want to ask you a quick question real quick because you said that Kyrie's being duped. So do you think that there is somebody who has it out on the black people to feel some type of way about the Jewish people? You think it's some kind of something that somebody is instigating and putting together to feed this out to the people to cause some kind of war?
For sure. There's a lot of cults in the world, where they're going to push their message. Some people might know what they're doing and are just doing it for control. Some people might genuinely believe these messages and they're just trying to spread it because their heart is in the right place. Maybe it's some people who don't agree with everything, but there are certain tenets of this cult that they really fuck with. So they'll turn a blind eye to the other shit just because, it's about camaraderie and black unity and us overcoming being oppressed. So they'll fuck with that part and be like that's a means to an end. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a complex thing. You know what I'm saying? It's tough, but we'll continue. All right.
Was post things for my people, my community, and those that it's actually going to impact. Anybody else that has criticism, it obviously wasn't meant for them.
Hopefully I'm understanding what you said, and I want to make sure I get it right because I don't want to misquote any part of it.
I don't expect understanding from a media conglomerate group that should sincerely talks about the
stop it right
easy.
correlative.
Real quick. So my point is do you hear how he sounded before then? He was explaining himself, but then when we had to talk about the media, he switched on to saying, listen, man, I don't even feel that y'all are here to agree or to have some type of understanding with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like he has to walk on. He can't really just go out and speak. He got to kind of walk on eggshells because he feels like
I
they
feel
may
like that
turn
too.
things
I
around.
feel like he wants to say, I wouldn't expect the Jewish media to understand it. I think you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm
Exactly.
not, but look, that's just me speculating right now. I can't tell you what's in Kyrie's head. I can only go off of what he says and his convictions, the things that he believes in. So if he believes in this book and they're saying stuff in there that's anti-Semitic, it's going to lead me to believe that you have some anti-Semitic views, especially if you're not condemning the anti-Semitic parts about it, right? And then when he does that tiptoeing type of routine that you just noticed too, it just makes him seem a little bit more disingenuous from the standpoint of, trying to say that he's accepting of all walks of life and everything like that. But whatever. You ready to continue?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
At times when it's convenient for people to bring it up. So please just be direct with your question so we can move on from this and I could talk about the game and go home to my son Elohim and my wife Marlene, okay?
Elohim.
Am I to take it that this was what you shared was not something that you've even watched? This was you did watch it or either watch it or read it.
I had a lot of time to read a lot. Read a whole bunch. Good and bad about the truth of our world.
So then do you, I guess,
I respect
Did you hear that?
He's a reader. Huh?
I mean, look. Remember at the beginning of the video, he says that he was up one night and he typed Yahweh into the search bar and it just happened to come up. He's not saying that he agrees with everything, right?
Yeah.
It's just something that he was watching. I just shared it. But now we found out that you read the whole book that it was based on, and you had all this time on your hands to learn about what's real and what's not real in the world. So which one is it, Kyrie? Is this just some random thing that you looked up, or was this something that you were heavily into?
But like I'm saying, we can't really go at Kyrie for this because he's facing scrutiny. He gets paid by the NBA. He can get money taken away from him. So we're getting people that's going to dance around a lot, and they're not going to be.
What you mean? Like I'm not coming at him for that though. Like I don't know.
No.
I'm not part of the group that wants him to stand on the anti-Semitism. There is a group out there like that. They're gonna feel like Kyrie saw. He you know what I'm saying? He know not to say he know not to say the wrong thing because he's being controlled. I'm not part of that group though. Like I think I want Kyrie to be educated, you know what I'm saying? Like he's to me is somebody who has proven to be susceptible to conspiratorial beliefs. This is a guy who didn't trust vaccines. It's also a guy who is convinced that the earth is flat. That doesn't instill confidence in his ability to discern what's right and wrong when he reads a book or gets messages in the media. I think he's easily fooled. But that's all I got to say about that. Okay. I'm gonna let him keep going. He's gonna start cooking right now.
Good and bad about the truth of our world.
I want to back it up a little bit.
You?
Because I think he asked him, did you read it? Do you know what's in there?
Read a whole bunch.
He's like, yes, I read. I read a lot. He don't want you to mistake that.
Something that you've even watched. This what you shared was not something that you've even watched. This was you did watch it or either watch it or read it.
I had a lot of time to read a lot.
And he read the book. Okay, so he watched it and read the
book.
Good
and bad about the truth of our world.
So then do you, I guess, understand or not understand those that might imply that work had anti-Semitic leanings in it? I only ask this because the tweet is still up there, so
we're in 2022. It's on Amazon, a public platform. Whether you want to go watch it or not is up to you.
Right.
There's things being posted every day. I'm no different than the next human being, so don't treat me any different. You guys come in here and make up this powerful influence I have over top of the adultery of you cannot post that. Why not? Why not? Everybody posts everything else. You saw the word nigger going up on Twitter, right?
Right.
That's our next story, actually, guys. We're going to talk about that.
But my point is, why won't they go at Amazon? It's like when Kanye talked about the documentary movie of Candace Owens. Why aren't y'all having this same energy towards Candace?
They are.
Okay, long as they are, but I'm saying, why aren't they
She's
talking
getting
like
sued too. You know how
okay,
George Floyd family said they suing Kanye,
yeah,
they
but
suing
250.
Candace too.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so
I
let's
respect
not
that.
act like she ain't getting spoken.
I
Go ahead.
respect that, but
Go
why
ahead.
aren't they taking this up with Amazon?
I don't know. That might be the next thing, but that's a good question. Is
You get what I'm
Amazon?
saying? He's just a person. He's just somebody who's seen it. Why would they? If y'all know it's a book out there that's that is talks bad about you, why wouldn't you go contact them and say, Amazon, why are you supporting this? You
I don't
talking
think
to an
honest.
NBA player.
Yeah. I mean, look, honestly, I don't think people traced it back that far yet. I don't know if people think about that because you got to think there's there's other things like that is what I'm trying to say. Like they sell books with racist undertones in them, right? I don't ever hear about people going after the publishing company. They'll just go after the book and criticize the book. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think that people are thinking that far, like, oh, let me go. But they're looking at Kyrie like he's supposed to be a role
He's
model.
supposed to know better. Come on, he's a Hebrew. Like that don't even make sense. That why I don't understand why are they even coming at him?
Because I'm gonna tell you, this is how I look at it, right? This is how I think the real game goes. And I don't want to spend too much time on it. I might be off of this now because I don't know if he said anything else that was like, groundbreaking in the interview. But this is what I want to say. A lot of us are out here believing in made up stories, fairy tales, from
Right.
books, right? If the story that you choose to believe in happens to be racist or hateful in a way, you're going to get in trouble for it. So you need to adjust your beliefs, you know what I'm saying, or keep them to yourself. Because people seem to think that just because it's like your religious belief, that you're safe. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just, I've heard racist interpretations of the Bible as well. And the people who were spouting that, they were criticized as well. So this is not new to me. You know what I'm saying? There's people who used to liken uh, like members of the Confederate Army to like people in the Bible, trying to make it seem like they were in some kind of righteous fight and like God was helping them. They even had like General Lee's picture in the stained glass window of the churches and stuff like that. They took that shit down, bro. Like they leveled it down because people were that offended by that racist interpretation of the Bible. So if he thinks that just because he believes this, that's going to be enough to save him, and it's like his personal beliefs, it could be your personal beliefs, but you're probably going to have to keep it to yourself if you don't want to get criticized for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how that goes. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know, man. I don't want to spend too much time on Kyrie, but I want to actually. I'm going to stop sharing this interview, but I do want to go into something else about that damn that book. Just a little bit, not too much. I don't want y'all to think I'm just talking out my neck when it comes to this, because there's a story in Rolling Stone that has a pretty good breakdown. I read another story about it, but this had the most details. I'll start from the top on this. But Kyrie Irving boosts anti-Semitic movie peddling Jewish slave ships. The video is based on a venomously anti-Semitic book which asserts that many famous high-ranking Jews have admitting to worshiping Satan or Lucifer. Hours before another Brooklyn Nets loss on Thursday, noted free thinker and basketball player Kyrie Irving took to Twitter to boost a movie and book, Hebrews and Negroes, stuffed with anti-Semitic tropes. The 2018 film was directed by Ronald Dalton Jr. and based upon his 2015 book of the same name. A description for the film states that it uncovers the true identity of the children of Israel. while a similar one for the book reads, since the European and Arab slave traders stepped foot into Africa, blacks have been told lies about their heritage. Both suggest Hebrews to Negroes espouse ideas in line with more extreme factions of the black Hebrew Israelites, which have a long history of misogyny, homophobia, xenophobia, Islamophobia, and especially anti Semitism. All right. Um,
Now,
I'll go on. The
I like how they put this together though. I like how they explain. But for me, for somebody's trying to illustrate how they feel and their views in a book or a movie, I mean, it's just hard for me to just say that, they were in it to just try to be anti, anti-Semitic.
we're not really speaking to anybody's intention in the book. We're
Right.
just dealing with what's in the book. So you could mull over what's in somebody's mind. I'm not a psychic, you know what I'm saying? But they're talking about things that are in the book that are inaccurate. So that should be the important part, getting to the truth. I
Right.
don't
But
even care.
you
Even if
remember
he
Roots? You remember Roots? You remember
yeah.
the movie Roots? Do you feel like how that played out was, because they had the big book. I remember in my mom's house, they had these, it was like 7, 8 books of Roots, and it was like they showed us the movie of how it was. You remember what was the dude name? Who got his ankle cut off or something?
Kunta Kinte. I mean,
Kunta Kinte.
there's I don't know if that's even like, I don't know how accurate Roots is, but that,
Right, but we didn't know how accurate. Like it wasn't as like a lot of people were saying, "Yo, this ain't really as accurate as they making it seem for the movies," But a lot of people took flack off their Roots because they was like, "Yo, even off the movie Precious when they had the
I don't want to get too far off track though, Bob.
okay."
I mean, where are you going with this? I'm waiting for you to land. You know what I'm saying? What
I'm
about
landing at a spot where they have been like, okay, they're saying that this is racist to Jewish people. This book that they're saying, and I'm trying to figure out how can a movie displaying something like, we take it as racist to them just because they're telling a story or they're just, you know what I mean? They're saying how
okay?
it is.
I'll continue to read it. Maybe it could seem more clear to you. The Black Hebrew Israelite movement is fairly broad, comprising of organizations that, and this is according to the Anti-Defamation League, operate semi-independently. The movement generally coalesces around the notions that black people are the real descendants of the ancient Israelites, which with more extreme factions claiming that black people have been robbed of their identity as being God's chosen people. And that's according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. I personally have heard that
Me too.
echoed, you know what I'm saying, amongst people that I know that I'm friends with. So it's those extreme sects that have often parroted classic anti-Semitic tropes, like claiming European Jews, often referred to as the synagogue of Satan, wield outsized control over society, especially in industries like banking and the media. Where have we heard that recently? They've also pushed anti Semitic claims that Jews are responsible for slavery and a feminizing of black men. So that to me is a little bit far out, you know what I'm saying? But that should make it more clear to you at least why people are concerned about Kyrie promoting the book. So I guess that's up for you to decide. There's some people who will read all of that and be like, that's right. Why are they on Kyrie's case for talking the truth? My last name is Israel. I
Right.
used to think that kind of stuff was true at one time, and then I woke up from the dream. I'm a reasonable person now, and these people are gonna have to. They might die
Oh,
believing that, but it's gonna
what
be
was
hard to
it that made
disabuse
you
them.
believe that is not true? What was it that made you believe that this information is false? What was that?
Well, what you have to do is trace back where you learned all of this stuff, and you might discover that your beliefs is not built on a solid foundation. A lot of times people are just repeating things that somebody that they trust told them. They're not being critical of the information. And
No,
on
but I
top of
said,
that,
what
hold
was it
on,
that
let me
made
finish. Let me
go ahead?
finish. On top of that, I'm in an environment that encourages me to believe that. If I'm around older people that's saying that that's true, and I'm around peers that's saying that's true, I'm in an environment that's encouraging me to believe that. It's not a lot of people pushing back on that and giving me another perspective.
Okay. So
You
what
know,
was it that you seen or that you found out that you said that okay, all this that y'all saying is not true and
you're
this is
not hearing what I'm saying.
go ahead.
I'm telling you that I retraced my steps and found out where I even found out about all of this. I'm getting this from other people.
So that's how you found out that this isn't
Word
true
of mouth,
from word of mouth.
mostly word of mouth. And then they'll say, watch this video or something like that.
No, I'm
Or
saying
you'll
how
read a
did you
text.
find out that it wasn't like this is false? That now you came to the conclusion you was once saying I was
You're not understanding what I'm saying, bro.
go ahead.
Once you're on a point where you're following the evidence, you have to see that if you don't have enough evidence to believe something, it's not about disproving something. I ain't have enough evidence that it was true. The sources of information was not credible. Once
Oh,
you
so
get
you don't
more,
have enough information that is false as well. That's basically what you say.
that's not how my mind works. I'm not trying to work trying to prove things that are not true. I'm trying to have evidence support the things that I believe to be true. If I can't come up with good enough reasons to believe something, I should let it go, or at least my confidence in that belief should drop. But that's not how a lot of people are operating. That's not how a lot of people are thinking. They're
I'm
just hearing some shit that sounds like it makes sense, and then they believe it in their heart. You know what I'm saying? They're going off of faith, not evidence.
I know, but I'm saying in your sense, you was actually, Israelite. You was actually saying the name. So I'm saying to go from where you was at to being one of these to now, when you retrace the information, let me finish. When you retrace it and you feel like, yeah, it was just people saying it, it ain't nothing I can find that's factual. Yeah, I'm not taking into this. I don't believe into this at all anymore.
There you go. And it's people believing in ancient texts, interpreting. Who's to say that these texts are even right? You know what I'm saying? Hebrew Israelites is going by a Bible. If you think that the Bible is perfect and untouched and stuff like that, there are certain people who believe that. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So once you see that there's a chink in the armor, I'm getting this from people who are not 100% credible, who are getting their information from questionable sources. Why am I believing in this 100%? Then there starts to be doubt. Then you start to go out and find more information and you weigh it up and you're like, wow, this is more credible. There's more credible sources to corroborate this version of history than the few like little fringe groups that are supporting this. You start to realize the world is bigger than these little fringe groups. You know what I'm saying? It's
Gotcha,
not, yeah.
gotcha. I got you. So, do you still feel that blacks can be Jews though? Correct?
Yeah, we talked about this on an episode before, man. Yeah, that's true. You know, blacks
Okay.
can be Jews.
Blacks
That's not
can
what
be
I'm
Jews.
saying.
So you know that they're out there. You're just saying that.
You're not. You're
Oh no, I'm trying to
conflating the
get it.
two.
Huh? I'm trying to get it correct.
That's different than what they're saying in this.
Right. I'm trying to clear it out. So you're
Okay.
basically just saying that it's not a
Mm.
such thing as blacks are the real Jews. You're basically saying that you still believe that black people can be Jewish. You're just saying that the whole rhetoric that blacks are the real Jews and they're not, and they stole our identity is false.
That's where you're getting it right.
Okay. I'm just
You know,
trying to get
there's
a good understanding. You know what I mean?
yeah, there's black Jews out there, and again, I
So
want
you
to
can
make
still
this
be
clear.
Jewish, that your name is Israelite. You can still be on that.
Yeah,
Hebrew.
I just want to make this clear. A lot of people don't understand this. Jewish is a race and a religion. You could be both, one or the other. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to think about. Anybody could be Jewish.
Right. So do you consider yourself a Jew?
No, man. Can
I'm
we
just
move
trying to
on,
get
dog? Can we move on?
you. Okay. I'm trying to get a clear understanding here, and you just like.
I mean, come on, dog. Like, you know this. Like, I've never said that to you. I've been knowing you for my whole life, and you're gonna ask me something goofy like that, dog.
I'm just trying to make sure I get.
That's just goofy, though. You know me, dog. It's not like we strangers. We're not gonna do that, dog. What, don't you think that if I thought I was Jewish, I would have brought it up to you? At some point, have you ever heard? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard me say that I'm Jewish?
No, I never heard you
never. That's what I'm trying to say. You tripping, though.
But I knew you kind of believed in the whole at one point the Israelites. You know,
man, I believed in a lot of stuff at one point. Man. Man, I was with the Rastafarian movement, man.
Yeah,
I was with I was really feeling what Farrakhan and them was talking about at one time, dog. It's a lot of little emotions I done went through. I was a devout religious person.
Right.
But them days is over for me. You know what I'm saying? Them days is over for me. But hey, like I was saying, Kyrie did mention the fact that there's been a surge in the N-word usage on Twitter, and he felt like there's not enough outrage over that. Like, why are we talking about him? Well, there's actually been people who were concerned about that. LeBron spoke about it. He said that he don't know if it have anything to do with Elon or something to this effect. He said he don't know if it have anything to do with Elon, but he hopes that him and his people are taking it very seriously because it's scary. Didn't he say something like that?
Yeah.
All right.
What's so scary about that?
You don't think it's a little bit scary that a lot of white people started using? Well, I don't know if they're white. Let's be careful.
Right, like
I mean, that a lot of people started using the N-word. You know what I'm saying? I guess we should specify. Was it a hard ER or? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Was it just because because that yak did drop? You know what I'm saying? So maybe they was just like, nigga, that yak kind of crazy. I don't know.
Rappers say that in their songs whole time. People could have been putting quotes.
Look, I assume that they were talking about Nigger. That's what I thought. But anyways, Variety, I thought they wrote a real good article on it. They was getting into the meat and potatoes of that. Somebody does care. Now I'll start from the top. Twitter blames flood of N-word, other racist slurs following Musk's takeover on an organized trolling campaign. Ugh, that was hard to read. So they're saying that. Yeah, they're saying that this is all from trolls. This is an organized troll effort. Meanwhile, Musk appeared to violate the company's misinformation policy by tweeting a baseless conspiracy theory. There's a lot of people sharing conspiracy theories out here in the world, but I'll go on.
Right, but my thing is, could this be an attack on because Elon owns Twitter?
Well, can we get through the article, sir?
Okay.
But maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they just hating on Elon. But racist trolls are exulting in Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter, and an organized cadre of them are flouting the social network's policies that ban hate speech, according to the company. Instances of the N-word on Twitter increased by almost 500% in a 12-hour period over the previous average. Following Musk's, that's hard to say, Musk's closing on $44 billion acquisition, according to the Princeton-based Network Contagion Research Institute, which tracks cyber social threats. So that is a big jump. You know, I could kind of believe that maybe racist people felt like this was a victory for them, and now they said that now that Elon's in trust, we could just do what we want. But we'll go on to read. The plot thickens. Responding to the increase in N-word occurrences, Yoel Roth, Twitter's head of safety and integrity, on Saturday evening posted a thread blaming the hateful conduct on a trolling campaign. According to Roth, Over the previous 48 hours, Twitter had seen a small number of accounts post a ton of tweets that include slurs and other derogatory terms. He said more than 50,000 tweets repeatedly using a particular slur, an evident reference to the N word, had come from just 300 accounts, nearly all of which were inauthentic. So, what you got to say about that?
So all accounts was unauthentic.
Well, they said that most of the tweets came from 300 accounts that seemed to be fake, and they were responsible for more than 50,000 tweets.
Yeah, seems like a setup. You know what I mean?
It seems like a setup. Who do you think would do this?
Probably who he bought Twitter from or something. Probably somebody who, you know what I mean?
Could it be the left? Could it be the media, all just trying to do things to make Elon fail? You know,
Right. We
it
got to
could be the
think.
Democrats, right?
I mean, I don't think it could be. I don't see what they would get out of.
Well, we don't have any evidence of any of this.
Yeah.
We're just speculating right now. I mean, they didn't share any evidence of who could have done that in the model, so we just speculate. But that's what I think a lot of people are going to go to. They're going to be like, this is just the liberal media trying to bring down Elon because he's a champion for free speech, and they don't want to see the right get to voice their opinions. They don't want to see the right get equal footing on a social square like this. That's the type of stuff that I think people are going to say.
Yeah, it sounds like they tried to put something out on Twitter though, because he owned it and he trying to get freedom of speech. So it's like, okay, let's put all this racial shit on here. And
I don't know. I'd be careful with saying that he's like some kind of champion for free speech, because I'm pretty sure that Twitter is still going to have, terms and conditions of service. He owns it now, and we're still seeing that.
I just think he's marketing the free speech. I don't feel
like he's marketing it.
About that,
yeah.
bro.
See, whether it's really free speech that he's marketing or not, I think what's more important sometimes is the perception of it. So you're right. If it looks like he's fighting for free speech, that's, to a lot of people, that's just as good as fighting for free speech, actually,
Right.
And that's what's so crazy about that whole topic, because he's actually, one could argue that he's fighting against free speech. Like that's a private business's right and freedom to have conditions and terms of service. So you want them to flout their own terms and conditions of service so you could say whatever you want on their platform? Like, that don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But one could also argue that this is like Twitter so big that it's like a public square, and maybe the government should be involved. But if you take that position, then that goes against a lot of right-wing values, because they're always talking about small government. So it's just a lot of like hypocrisy going on with right-wing people acting like they're some kind of champions of free speech, while at the same time getting books banned in school because they don't want to see CRT, you feel me, and all of this stuff in school. They don't want kids to know about, people with different sexual orientations and shit like that. So, it's not, I don't know. A lot of people got different interpretations of free speech, but I guess it does make you look at that whole situation a little bit different now, knowing that all of that came from 300 accounts.
Right.
Look how much damage you could do with just 300 fake accounts.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Think about that reminds me of when the FBI said that it was 12 main influencers that were responsible for, what was it, 80% of all the misinformation online regarding COVID. When Reza Islam was on that list, those numbers might not be exactly right, but that's what it reminds me of. It doesn't. Elon Musk was on to something when he was talking about those fake accounts and cracking down on those, because what people are able to do, what kind of influence they're able to wield like that, it is a problem. I'm with him on that.
Facebook cracked down on theirs where you couldn't do that, but Elon, I mean, Facebook is down, man. Your boy Mark Zuckerberg, they just put a report out that he lost 100 billion with that old metaverse type thing, work on the metaverse.
None of that stuff makes sense to me. Like, I don't, how you lose 100 billion, you know what I'm saying? And you still got bread? Like, you got so much bread that my mind can't even wrap around it, dog. You could
No, this
just,
is it. Facebook was valued so high at one time before TikTok was out.
so we're talking about imaginary money, basically. If we're talking
Right.
about what something is valued as and what he lost, did he ever really have it? Like, I don't know, man. That stuff.
Yeah, he had it. I mean, it's like it was valued here. He could have sold it, or
I
he could
guess
have.
that value stuff don't really, that you start to lose me. I mean, I get what you're saying. I read those reports too, but what does that really mean? You know, in a tangible sense, he lost 100 billion. He might be up 100 billion now. You know what I'm saying? And he lost it that quick. You know, I don't
No,
know.
I think Facebook is now getting so much more competition. You got to think, bro. When Facebook first came out, that was the best platform, and it controlled it, dominated for a long time, bro. And that was in like what we talking about? What 2008, 2009? And you could say Facebook has been dominant for probably about 7 to 8 years after that. But when TikTok came out and Instagram came out, Snapchat, Facebook has just been on the decline then, you know?
Yeah. You, I mean, you're
But you
making a
can't
lot
make
of sense.
300 fake accounts on Facebook right now. You get what I'm saying?
Well, that's good. That's actually good. I think it's a good thing. But I just want the people to know. Uh, I just want the people to know we've seen this kind of thing before and it need to be stopped. I'm gonna point to it right now. I'm gonna point to it right now. Damn. Man, let me go back. Yeah, The Guardian. A lot of stories on this, but they said the majority of COVID misinformation came from 12 people. The report
Mm.
finds the vast majority of COVID-19 anti-vaccine misinformation and conspiracy theories originated from just 12 people, a report by the Center for Countering Digital Hate cited by the White House this week found. CCDH, a UK-US nonprofit and non-governmental organization, found in March that these 12 online personalities they dubbed the Disinformation Dozen have a combined following of 59 million people across multiple social media platforms, with Facebook having the largest impact. The CCDH analyzed 812,000 Facebook posts and tweets and found 65% came from the Disinformation Dozen. And Riza Islam is included on that list. He spoke about it on Joe Budden's podcast. So that just goes to show, man, these fake accounts, like we said, you know, a few times before this, it's a problem. It's a real big problem. So I
Yeah.
hope he cracks down on that. If there's one thing if there's one reason I have to hope that Elon Musk is successful at Twitter, I hope that he successfully gets rid of the bot problem, and maybe that'll be like a beacon for the other social media platforms. Like you said that Facebook cracked down on that. I hope they did. It sounds interesting. I want to look deeper into that. But that's all I got to say about that for right now. Do you have something that you was gonna pull up, Bob?
No, I was gonna just pull up the Charleston White, but we decided to cut that so we can just have a have a little discussion about
Well, damn. I thought you might have wanted to. Oh, there is something I wanted to bring up. Since we're talking about dangerous disinformation, right? I think that's kind of like the theme. that we
Okay.
got going on right now.
Dangerous disinformation. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I want to talk about something we didn't speak about. Nancy Pelosi's husband getting attacked
Yeah.
by a guy with a hammer, and they're saying that he was influenced by QAnon beliefs.
What do you mean QAnon?
Damn boy, it looked like you was frozen. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, okay, yeah. QAnon, man. You know, the people who peddle conspiracy theories. That's where that
Gotcha.
pizza gate thing came from, and they'll
Okay.
probably have you thinking that some people is reptilians in the government, like the Democrats have a secret underground cabal where they traffic kids or weird shit. Hold on, let me get to it. I want to get to that because
Yeah,
we didn't
I think
touch
it
on
was a
that.
setup. Yeah, I definitely think it was a setup.
I mean, all right. I don't know what evidence you have to believe that it was a setup. But you know what? It's funny that you saying that Elon Musk shared a tweet of a baseless conspiracy theory involving Nancy Pelosi's husband being attacked. So I hope you're not going down the same road as Elon right now, where you just repeating some shit that there ain't no evidence of.
No, I'm just going off of how like, damn,
All
somebody
right,
ran into his house. You know how we do. If
all
somebody
right.
ran into your house.
Look, bro. Just because we on the same little YouTube show, don't think I won't get you canceled out here. Because you could get it too, though. You know what I'm saying? I will tell the power that be, man, that look, we look at Bobby as a role model out here, though. I don't feel comfortable with him supporting this kind of information. You know what I'm saying? What can we do to get him out to pay? I'm just fucking with you. All right, let's get into the. Let's get serious because we don't want to make it look like we laughing at anybody getting attacked with a hammer.
Yeah, for real.
All right. Accused Pelosi attacker David DePape spread QAnon, other far right bigoted conspiracy theories, or just says conspiracy theory. Maybe I ain't so smart, but let's get back to it. Is that all? Oh shit, freezing up a little bit. All right, let's ride. There's an article by Summer Lynn, Salvador Hernandez, and Terry Castleman in the Los Angeles Times, just in case anybody wants to read this for themselves in entirety. In the months before police accused him of attacking House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband Friday morning, David DePape, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, had been drifting further into the world of far right conspiracies, anti Semitism, again, and hate, according to a Times review of his online accounts. In a personal blog that DePape maintained, posts include such topics as manipulation of history, the Holocaust, ooh, and it's okay to be white. And he mentioned 4chan, a favorite message board of the far right. He posted videos about conspiracies involving COVID-19 vaccines and the war in Ukraine and being a ploy for Jewish people to buy land. Bobby, I hope you're really noticing the commonality with these conspiracy theories and COVID-19 misinformation and anti-Semitism. You seeing that they all got a little sprinkle of that, all of them, whether it be RZA, whether it be Kyrie, whether it be Kanye, whether it be Trump. That right wing got a serious conspiracy theory problem. But I'll continue. DePape's screeds included posts about QAnon, an unfounded theory that former President Donald Trump is at war with a cabal of Satan worshipping elites who run a child sex ring and control the world. In an August 23rd entry entitled Q, DePape wrote, either Q is Trump himself or Q is the deep state moles within Trump's inner circle. Whoa. DePape's daughter, N.T. Gonzalez told the Times that her father wrote the blog. She said that she and her mother were reeling from the news that DePape had been arrested in connection with the attack on Paul Pelosi. I'm a little shocked, she said, but not really that shocked in all honesty. That's an interesting response. Authorities have not revealed a motive for the attack at the Pelosi home in San Francisco early Friday. The law enforcement sources said that the assailant shouted, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?" before confronting Paul Pelosi, and San Francisco Police Chief Bill Scott called the attack intentional. It was crazy, right? How he called him for Nancy, like he really wanted her head.
He want her. No, you said something that I wanted to check.
Go ahead, speak on it.
It was speaking about Donald Trump is the leader of the conspiracy theories or the Republican Party.
Well, it's what they were really saying is DePape was convinced that Q was Trump himself or the deep state moles within Trump's inner circle.
That's harsh. That's harsh.
It's crazy what people can be led to believe, can be manipulated into believing. It's crazy, bro. But I'll read a little bit. Go ahead.
I got a question for you real quick.
Yeah.
Where does it go from when you being a conspiracy theorist to where you're just, to then you at a point where you're a conspiracy theorist? Like, where is that?
Wait a minute. Can you ask that question again? It sounds like where do you get to the point from being a conspiracy theorist to being a conspiracy theorist? But
no,
you couldn't have said that. What were you saying?
Go from the point where you feel that people are conspired to get you to believe something that that they want you to believe, to where you come from a conspiracy theorist. The general public. I was just listening to Shannon in the morning. Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless, and Shannon was like, "Yeah, he's one of these conspiracy theorist people." I just want to know, like, what is it that you have to believe in? What conspiracy to make you a part of one of these people? I want to talk to the people who are always calling the people conspiracy theorists. What is it that makes you, you in this group because you believe this, or you think this is a conspiracy?
I'm not sure how to answer that. Me, if I when I call somebody a conspiracy theorist, it's because there's somebody who has shown a pattern for being susceptible for stories that are not tethered to reality. You get me? If you're like that whole Pizzagate thing is a good example. That was proven to just not be true. They researched who owned that pizza shop. The guy was a good guy. Somebody even showed up at that pizza shop with a gun to rescue the kids. He was promptly arrested, and they didn't find any kids there. So it's just, that's the kind of thing. Like, if you believe that the earth is flat, there's no real evidence for that, but you've been duped by the faux evidence that's online. So to me, you would be a conspiracy theorist. You're not, in my opinion, a critical thinker.
Gotcha. Because with me, it's just, do you fit the people who are, because you got some conspiracy theorists that are just on, people are just with the gay, people that are homosexual or gays or religion. You got people that'll talk about that as far as that's a conspiracy for people to be, gay, or for people to be believing in a religion, or for, you got people that'll say that, but I don't put them as far as the conspiracy theorist group. Like, when I think conspiracy theorists, it's minus a couple of things. You get what I mean?
Hey, that's your definition. So, hey, fair enough. You could call them whatever you want. But I do want
to. I was getting what you.
I explained it as clear as I could. You kind of confused me the way that you asked the question. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to follow you, but
But
what I'll say is, this is an interesting part of the article. Days after Kanye West's Twitter and Instagram accounts were locked due to anti-Semitic remarks, DePape created a subsection of his personal blog dedicated to posts about Jewish people. He attempted to debunk the Holocaust and repeated anti-Semitic sentiments in early 20 posts over a 10-day period, and nearly 20 posts over a 10-day period. Excuse me. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. See, these hateful beliefs and stuff like that, I feel like it puts you in the type of vibe where you'll do something crazy. You'll do something crazy. But you know, Bob, I don't mean to cut you short, but that's pretty much all the time I have for today.
Okay. Yeah, man. Anything else you want to close them out with?
I got a good quote I want to close people out with. Since this was about this seemed to be about dangerous disinformation, I came across a good quote that I want to leave the people with, just something to keep in your mind so we could have a better process on how to determine whether things are real or false, because it's a lot of lies being spread around here. This is something I got from the Thinking is Power Facebook page. An expert consensus is the best knowledge available to us at any given moment. Can it change? Of course, but effective challenges will almost certainly come from those with expertise. Beautiful. You know, if you're not going to take the years of schooling and education that it takes to be an expert, you need to be humble enough to listen to experts and get your information from credible sources, because we can't know everything. It's nothing wrong with deferring to people who know more than us. All of this free thinking shit seems like a lazy way of thinking and believing shit that don't got a lot of evidence. So that's all I got to say about that. I'm signing off, Bob. I'll let you have the last word.
All right, guys. So, man, look, envirely.com, where we still giving out wholesale water treatment equipment for families, anyone, to make sure that the water in your home is safe. So you guys can check me at envirely.com. Send me a message. We can get you set up, see what you need, and we go from there.
All right, then.
All right. Anywhere they can catch you at, Cap?
Ja Israel on Facebook. I really got to go out, man.
All right, man. We see y'all on the next one. Peace out.
Yeah.